Well, good morning, my friends. It's time for the 10 at 10, the little thing we do each and every Wednesday just to see what's going on and how's it working and everything else. I try to have interesting people, and one of the most interesting people I know is my friend Shannon from the Gymguyz. Now, we're both wearing our Gymguyz shirts, but they look different.
You look good, Gary. You look
Yeah, but
great.
but you, dude, that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you because it's a hot day. It's 96 degrees, which means depending on where you are in the South Bay, it could be 100 degrees at your house today. It's supposed to be over 100 tomorrow. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you about when it comes to exercise, because you're obviously dedicated to fitness and stuff. And so I told you this. I'm like, what would you tell people? What are your exercises you do every day? That's the thing that you do every day.
Yeah. That's a great question, Gary. First off, I always thank you for giving me the opportunity to spend some time with you. Love chopping it up, rapping it with you. You're such a great guy, such a great ball of energy. And so thank you very much for this opportunity. Well, when it comes to my exercise, so I do what's called a split training program, and that's where I focus on certain body parts. I'm not a bodybuilder by any means, but I really look forward to focusing on our primary movers, doing more of those compound exercises. So, what are primary movers? Those are your biggest muscles in your body. Those are the muscles that require the most caloric burn because calories that provides us with energy. So, those three muscle groups, it's really your chest, your back, and your glutes, legs. Those are the three areas that I like to focus on. So, any given day, Monday is usually kind of like my leg day, lower body day. I like to focus on doing, squats, hinges, single leg movements, whether it be a single leg squat, a single leg balance, reach, a lot of proprioception, which is where we incorporate neuromuscular activity. Not trying to get over anyone's head, but ultimately having a good balance and functional movement. Those are the type of exercises that are going to be best for you. And realistically, you only need to do about 45 minutes a day. If you can get 45 minutes a day in, start up with a nice warm up, maybe some high knees, maybe some jogging in motion in place, and then doing a little stretch, and then getting into your exercise routine, which could be 3 sets of 5 squats. You can start with body squats. You can do a stability ball wall squat. You can do a single leg. You can do a lunge, right? Or you can do a Bulgarian squat. And the list goes on and on. But I like to focus on lower body, really putting a big emphasis on the glutes, the gluteus maximus, which I always talk to you about.
Mhm. It's
Yeah.
it's because squats are to me, and again, if you work with the gym guys, again, these are the people who come over to your house. They bring the workout to you. We talked about that before, and that's what's amazing. That I don't have to commute, they do. But squats are truly kind of an essential thing. And when you say body squats and stuff like that, and that's something you could do anytime, anywhere, huh?
Absolutely. It's functional movement. And we talked about it earlier, right? When you have kids, when you have babies, for example, they are the best example of how our bodies should move and how we should function. If you look at a baby, how they can squat, like my daughter, 2-year-old daughter, her squat, just a perfect squat. That's what we want to be able to get back to someday. Over the years, we sit so much, we lose that flexibility. But the squat, the hinge movement, that plane of motion, those are essential. Those are essential movements to having a good functional body, and those are the type of things we want to be able to do.
I love how you said it was 45 minutes. 45 minutes you can get in a workout because I think that some of the things that people get daunted by, right? That when you sit back, that you think you need to spend 3 hours in a gym. Now, there are those people who do that, and bless you, my child. But for the majority of us who you've got a baby and another one on the way, right? I mean, and you're running a company, you've got a zillion things to do. And it's Silicon Valley. It's what everybody does. Everybody's hustling is what they're doing. And the idea that 45 minutes and the intensity and just goals. What do you hear with your work in the gym, guys? What are most people's goals? If you had to say two or three things right off the top of your head.
Hands down, when it comes to goals, mainly people want to be healthy, Gary. And what does that mean? I mean that's internal health. That's the metabolic health. They want to deal with their cardiovascular health. They want to make sure that their cholesterol is low, that their blood pressure is low. They want to avoid high blood sugar. right? They want to make sure that they're not in line to get type 2 diabetes. They want to make sure that they're aging properly for longevity, so they steer away from neurodegenerative diseases and cancer. Those are the things that people want the most. It's not about getting big buff muscles or anything like that. We want muscle, of course, but the most important aspect of health is your internal health, hands down.
Yeah, I think that's great. As you and I talked about when I started working with you guys, I told you my first and foremost thing is I wanted my balance to be better, right? Because that's what as we get older in society, and you've seen this, falls. You can fall when you're 22. You don't want to fall when you're 66. You don't want to do that, right? And it's all about going back to the balance, and that's having worked with you guys. I know. Listen, I do squats anywhere and everywhere. I was on a overseas flight last week, right? And I'm waiting in line for the bathroom, and I know I had to be the weirdest looking guy in the world. I started doing squats.
There you go. I love it.
Because you can do it and you need to get that working. I also wanted to, with the heat that we've been experiencing here in the Bay Area today, tomorrow, this week, what's your take when people say, when it comes to working out in the heat, what is a guide? What are some tips you have? How do you approach it?
Well, you got to be careful working out in the heat, right? We don't want to suffer from heat exhaustion. So you've got to stay hydrated. This is the time more than ever, especially when you're working out. Get 100 ounces of water in your body. Hydrate up. Make sure you get 100 ounces in your body for the day minimum when you have temperatures at this level. And you want to kind of avoid working out in the heat. You don't want to be too exposed to that. I mean, if you can get your workouts in early in the morning or even later in the evening, that's ideal. I wouldn't recommend working out in a parking lot at noon or 3 o'clock. I would definitely say go to bed early, wake up early, get your workout in as soon as you possibly can between that 6 to 9 a.m. And if you can't do that, then wait till the late evening time frame.
Did you see that study that came out a couple of months ago that said cardio may be more effective late at night? Isn't that crazy?
I can see that.
That they were saying that if you're gonna do something like you're gonna ride an exercise bike or run on a treadmill or something like that, if you've got it at home, that your body responds better to it at night. My problem is then I'm awake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll supplement that with some resistance training. That'll tire you out.
Well, and that's it, trying to get it all in there and trying not to go. And that's the thing I battle, because you and I both know what I like to do is run. And I've been trying it because you've always told me you got to do more than that. You got to do something different, because you're going to end up hurting yourself just from the repetitive of whatever you're doing. And I bought in. And that's the thing that you learn at Gymguyz. Just to give you guys a plug, because I'm a fan. I've always have been. And I've loved it from the moment you and I first sat back and talked about it. And you were like, no, we come to your house. You came and you gave me the fitness level. And we're going to find out where you are in your journey. And this is what we're going to do. And we're going to go from that. And whether it's me, my neighbor across the street, you know her well, her daughter, who's also a friend, said, listen, I need her up and moving. So that's one of the things that we've done. If you have an elderly parent, if you have somebody who just needs to you need to make sure one day a week they get. Thank you. It's outside in Menlo Park. What are you going to do? That's one of the things you guys can do. I mean, you do deal with everybody. You deal from high school athletes on up, right?
Oh, absolutely. Our youngest client, Gary, is 5 years old. Our oldest client is 95, and everything in between. Yeah, we have a 5-year-old client, believe it or not. Has some neurodegenerative challenges with autism and IDD, but we were able to help her, continue to be physically active. At that age, it's about physical activity. And so that's one thing. And then, from the 95-year-old, you talked about balance and stabilization is absolutely critical. A lot of times when you said fall prevention, when people can fall, in their later stages of life, when they fall, that could literally be so detrimental to them in terms of recovery. They may not ever be able to get back on that horse and to be able to live the life that they truly desire to do. So fall prevention is huge. Balance and stabilization is something we preach a lot when it comes to programming.
See, it's just fascinating. And all those, and you're right, bringing up the physical challenges that other people have, whether it's a disability or whatever, and that's even more important stuff like that. My friend, I know I've been after him to do this forever, and he finally was able to carve out 10 minutes. But he's like, dude, I've got meetings all day. I can find 10 minutes where I can pull off on the side of the road and give you 10 minutes. So Shannon, thank you. Gymguyz, Silicon Valley, you guys the best, my friend. Stay cool, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, GST. You're the best. Number one.